Hi everyone, Syrian Girl here. There's been a border incident with Turkey where Turkey has accused Syria of mortaring Turkish territory and killing civilians. I believe that this is in fact a false flag by Turkey to use as a pretext to attack Syria, escalate things with Syria, and to create that buffer zone that they've been talking about for a while to protect the insurgents they have fighting for them in Aleppo. And this is also because these insurgent mercenaries, the FSA, are continuing to lose in Aleppo. And indications I have that this is in fact a false flag is that, first of all, no military targets were hit. And the supposed weaponry that was used, I don't believe that Syria would just fire on Turkey such a pathetic attack. And as we also know, there are terrorists in the area where the mortar occurred, on the Syrian side of the border, and they have in their possession mortars which Turkey themselves gave them. And the Syrian information minister actually came out and said that we are investigating the source of the incident. So from Syria's side, they aren't saying that we did it. Uh, so this is all indication that this attack occurred from Turkey's doing, from sources inside Syria, meaning the mercenaries. And in fact, without any waiting to see what actually occurred, Turkey already had a plan of action and it began to artillery strike Syria. Again, this shows that they were looking for an excuse to do this. Um, and they also have gone running to NATO to try to get backup support. And although NATO hasn't come out and said they will attack Syria with Turkey, they have, of course, given them some verbal support. So this might be a sign that at the end of the day, it's going to be a Syria-Turkey proxy war as a possibility. Some reports are saying that the shells that fell into Syria have killed Syrian soldiers, but the Syrian media has not confirmed this yet. Indeed, if Turkey continues to shell Syria, Syria might be forced to retaliate, and this event could be very bad for the entire region. It could result in a regional war. And no doubt this event may have offended citizens in Turkey, even though there's no hatred between Syria and Turkish people. Of course, the government of Turkey is controlled by NATO, the US, and Israel. And I believe, the Turkish people should know that it is justified, even though Syria hasn't done what it is accused of doing. Syria is justified in attacking terrorist targets inside Turkey because Turkey has been training and arming these terrorists virtually out in the open. And I uploaded a video today of a journalist that actually filmed them in action. And as a result, she was intimidated and taken prisoner, and her video is deleted of the proof that Turkey was arming terrorists. Although I don't think that much proof is needed, everybody already has noticed the elephant in the room. A few days prior to these events, Russia had actually warned NATO not to intervene or interfere in Syria, and perhaps Russia actually had some kind of foreknowledge of what NATO was planning with Turkey. In fact, Tony Cartalucci of Land Destroyer has written an expose of a report by the Brookings Institute, which is a US foreign policy think tank, detailing that exactly what is happening now has already been planned. It stated that if the insurgents were to lose in Aleppo, an other option for Turkey and NATO would be some military escalation against Syria. And quote, Israel could posture forces on or near the Golan Heights, and in doing so might divert regime forces from suppressing the opposition. This posture may conjure fears in the Assad regime of a multi-front war, particularly if Turkey is willing to do the same on its border, and if the Syrian opposition is being fed a steady diet of arms and training. Such a mobilization could perhaps persuade Syria's military leadership to oust Assad in order to preserve itself. And this seems to be exactly what's taking place now, because earlier today, the Syrian spokesman for the foreign ministry posted a statement that Israel seems to be moving soldiers around the Golan Heights area. So basically, they want to intimidate us into submission. They want to create traitors from within. And they want to make it seem as though there's definitely a possibility for NATO intervention, and there may very well be. But Syrian tanks are already being mobilized to the Turkish border. And if there's one piece of advice I can give to Syria, is that the NATO countries are cowards. They would never attack a nation that could actually cause a viable threat to them and their existence. They would never attack something strong that could actually cause them damage. And so I say threaten them while you are strong. Threaten them and they will back down. And I think I speak for many Syrians when I say, we want to maintain our country's dignity and sovereignty, and we want to make a stand against the neo-colonialists. And to our allies, I say, if you don't stand with us now, eventually you will have to stand alone. It seems that the scenario for war is always looming. If Syria is defeating the insurgents, NATO might start a war to try to prevent itself from losing its investment. And if Syria begins to lose, she too might start the war to make a stand. So NATO is playing with fire, and the whole world might suffer because of it.